Today, we're ballin' on a budget because you don't have to be rich to live a life of luxury. Now, I'm not saying that you should buy, well, most of these, but it's incredible to know that you could. Today on Idealist, we're coming at you with 8 cheap luxury cars that look expensive. Cars that all cost over 50 grand when new, and you can buy them today for right around 5. Like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and stick around till the end, because I'm going to tell you which one I think is the most ideal. Let's go. You guys, I parked this beast next to a Lambo, and someone asked, which one's faster? And I said, mine. This is a 700 horsepower GTR, Bayside Blue, full bolt-ons, carbon, everything. And the best part? Well, you can win it. All you gotta do is go to winthisIdealcar.com, buy some Ideal gear, or grab digital entries, and you're in the running for not only this car, but $10,000 cash. Do it now before the Lambo driver asks for a rematch. Click the link in the pinned first comment down below and get entered for a limited time. Lexus. They know how to build a car, and they proved it to the world with the LS400, a car that cost the company $1 billion to develop. That in its day sent brands like Mercedes and BMW back to the drawing board. Toyota spared no expenses bringing the car to market, and that, folks, is a very good thing. While they're not as flashy as some of the others on today's lists, an LS is the ultimate in understated luxury. It might not feel as special or as engaging as some of its competitors to drive, but it more than makes up for it with its bank vault reliability. I mean, how many cars can say that they've done over 1 million miles on their original engine? Plus, it's one of the smoothest and quietest cars that you can buy at any price. Go old school with this LS of your own for under $5K. This is the car that reinvented the Cadillac brand. Okay, in fairness, that award probably goes to the Escalade. But it was the CTS that Cadillac really took a swing for the fences. This sharply sculpted sedan aimed to go toe-to-toe with cars like the BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes E-Class. And honestly, it was sort of let down by its interior, built mostly with cheap plastics. The seats are lazy boy luxurious though. Built from 2003 to 2007, it was the first Cadillac to be offered with a manual transmission since the late 80s. And where the CTS-V really did shine was in its ride and handling. In fact, in its performance V-trim, it held the title for the world's fastest 4-door sedan around the Nürburgring for a very short time. The V, well, it's out of our price range, unfortunately. In base form, it's comfortable, smooth, and seeing as it's basically a Chevy, repairs aren't costly either. I can't say that it would be my top pick, but that doesn't mean it can't be yours. Check this one out that sold for $6, which, had they used the Ideal car strategies, I can almost guarantee they would have traded hands for $5. And also, I've linked to all these Ideal deals down below, so go check those out as well. Timeless, classic design. Seriously, in my opinion, it's one of the prettiest sedans ever built. In its day, it was pretty advanced too. All aluminum chassis and body, optional adaptive air suspension, all capped off with a supremely comfortable and well-designed interior. These things were comfy. Well, good thing too, because at least you got a nice place to sit when you're waiting for a tow truck. In all honesty though, a Jag's got a charm factor that's hard to beat. And jokes aside, they've got their quirks and features, but they're not actually all that unreliable. It's definitely no Lexus, but if you can find one that's been taken care of and stay absolutely vigilant on repairs and maintenance, this big cat could be your next best friend. Plus, in supercharged XJR trim, this car is an absolute riot. Pick up this tasty Van Den Pla for just $4,400, or watch the market closely and stretch a bit further to that XJR. All right, come here. I'm going to be honest with you. I think the 300C swings way above its weight, like the Cadillac and frankly, pretty much all American cars from this era. The interior is put to shame by its Japanese and German rivals, but it's not really that bad. It rides on the same platform as the Charger and Challenger, which underneath it all is just a reworked version of the Mercedes W210 chassis, which means they're quiet, they're smooth, and they actually handle pretty darn good. I mean, it is no Canyon carver, but for the daily commute, you will not be disappointed. Excitement for this car was huge when they were new, and even though Chrysler had a somewhat spotty reputation, well, I think they look great. They're inexpensive to fix, and for the money, you could do a lot worse than a poor man's Bentley. You can find decent examples for $3 to $5 grand all day, but check out this Hemi-powered SRT8 version for just a few grand more, and that looks like a burnout machine. The second gen A8 is an awesome car, It shares a platform, and unlike the 300C, this thing really is a Bentley, seeing as it shares underpinnings with the Flying Spur. And like all generation of A8, it's built on Audi's space frame design. It was developed at a time when Audi was finally proving to the world that they belonged on the same stage as their competitors BMW and Mercedes-Benz, and honestly, of all the full-size luxury cars on today's list, this might definitely be my top pick. Build quality is second to none, and the interior is the perfect blend of luxury, sophistication, and restrained design. But it should be said that a 20-year-old German car that costs around $100,000 when it was new has a potential to cost you big bucks when things go wrong. So even though you can find examples for under 5K, spending more like 10 to 15 is probably a smarter move. Either way, find a nice one, save some money for maintenance and repairs, and go live out your transporter fantasies. Check out this long wheelbase TDI that's sold for just under $5,000 USD. The E65 7 Series is to this day one of the most controversial designs to ever come from BMW or any automaker, period. And not just because of the way it looks, the 7 Series has always been BMW's flagship luxury sedan, but they really pushed the envelope with this one. It was on paper, technically a pretty impressive package, but in reality, well, the car was kind of a letdown when compared to the outgoing model. The iDrive system was complicated and frustrating to use, and the car was kind of a reliability nightmare. Add in excessive high repair costs, and well, it's not hard to see why it was kind of a flop. But that being said, they are super nice cars when everything is working. If you could pick one up for cheap and aren't afraid of some pretty advanced DIY, it could be worth it. Maybe. Take on the challenge for right around 5K. Mercedes-Benz. They're the king of big body luxury, and the S-Class is a legend amongst cars in its class. It's been the go-to choice of CEOs, dignitaries, and even royals for decades, and there's a very good reason why. While it's not as sporty as a BMW or as tech-forward as an Audi, an S-Class offers a level of sophistication that just can't be beat at this price point. I mean, guys, they build Maybachs out of these things. The interior and overall build quality are top shelf, and the best part is that they are actually pretty reliable. Most of the major problems these things had got fixed under warranty. That being said, no car is perfect, and being a Mercedes, well, if and when things go wrong, you're gonna have to pay up. Again, if $5,000 is literally all you can afford, buying a 20-year-old Benz probably isn't the smartest decision. But if you can up the budget just a bit, well, and find a reputable Mercedes shop that you trust, that S-Class juice might just be worth the squeeze. The example we found sold for just $5,700, but keep your eye on the market and you can find one under $5,000. Oh baby. A P car on the budget, the Cayenne was Porsche's first foray into the world of luxury off-roaders. And even though on release the majority of Porsche purists were against it, the Cayenne can be credited for single-handedly saving the brand that we know and love. I mean, how sad would it have been if cars like the Carrera GT or 918 were never made? And like its direct competitors, it offers four-wheel drive, good cargo room, and it's loaded with luxury. But a few things set the Cayenne apart from the pack. First, like the BMW X5, the Cayenne drives beautifully on the road, but unlike the soft-roader, the Cayenne is actually a beast when the going gets tough. 2-speed transfer case, locking diffs, and impressively capable air make off-roading excursions a breeze. And secondly, I know it might be hard to believe, but these trucks have a solid track record for reliability. There are a few common issues, but unlike so many depreciated luxury cars, a Cayenne won't nickel and dime you to death. Stay away from the 3.6-liter V6, it's reliable enough, but it's not a great match for the car. Instead, go for the 4.5-liter S model. If you need a nice SUV, don't sleep on the Cayenne, like this one for just $4,500. Sure, it's got high mileage, but with the Cayenne, that shouldn't necessarily scare you away. So, of these cars and SUV on today's list, which one is the most ideal? Right now, I'm actually in the market for a Cayenne to keep me warm through the winter. But if I didn't need the ground clearance and towing capacity, I'd probably be eyeing that A8. But what do you guys think? Which one of these cheap luxury cars makes your ideal pick? Let us know in the comments below. Also, check out this Idealist video up here, or whatever YouTube recommends you watch next down here. I'm Brad, this is Ideal. Like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and promise me one thing: keep living the ideal lifestyle.